What would your business do if you disappeared over the last 30 days, right? Well, I'll tell you for myself, I've closed over $101,000, and that is what's happened over the last 90 days inside of my business here. Last 45 days, honestly, really being pretty much completely out of the state, so much traveling and everything here as well. And I'm telling you, it's because I understood what it meant to build the right type of business out the gates here, okay? So really for myself here, and if you're in the coaching business, maybe you know, maybe you don't if you're a little bit newer, summertime is notoriously a slower season for a lot of people, right? They mention this all the time where, summertime, just like me, we're out traveling, right? Where you're with the family, it's beach time, your kids are off from school, so there is this energy in the air where you're just kind of detached from wanting to do hard things, right? And honestly, I'm not even mad about it. I mean, for myself, that's honestly, it's been an advantageous season for me in the sense that, hey, my kids are out of school. Like I said, I've been traveling a lot more than everything else here too. But the reality here is that it's not that summertime is the issue. The season itself isn't the issue. What the real issue basically is that too many people are really trying to focus on, all right, how can I go ahead, let this truck go by. How can I go ahead and realize, all right, it's not so much the season, it's the fact that my business needs me to be around day in and day out, right? There was a time in my business where I literally, if I was not around to take calls, I cannot close a high ticket client, right? I just want you to think about that there. If I wasn't around to take a call, then no deal is getting closed. For you right now, and I think that the way a lot of people are really selling it, is that has to be the case. And so if that is how your business is operating, we need to realistically take a different approach here, because you have basically built it the hardest way possible to scale in a leveraged, efficient way inside your business, all right? So I wanna take today just to really kind of break in how I'm doing what I've been able to do here. Like I said, 101K, right? With being so pulled out of the business during a season when people are out and about, not caring about their business as much, yet I'm getting the right people to still show up without having to be on calls, twisting arms and trying to demand them to do X, Y, Z on this side, all right? So I wanna crack into how I'm making this possible here right now. And look, I wanna be real here as well too. The other way can absolutely work. Like, you needing to be there is totally fine, but the problem happens to kick in when you're in a season like right now. You wanna take vacation, you get sick, like all the things that happened before. I talked about back in 2023, I tore my Achilles and I still was hitting some of the biggest months, 50K months on this side here with a freshly torn Achilles in the business. This is able to be possible because I've decided to build my business this way. If you don't know right now, and I just give you like this to really understand, if you don't know right now, for myself, it's I run the business, I have a part-time contractor, works a few hours a week for me, and then I have a full-time virtual assistant. That is it. And I say this to say that my profit margins when I'm making $101,000, it is extremely wide, all right? Especially compared to these people who are, once again, typically running these coaching businesses, and they have setters, closers, client success. They could be making, and honestly, some of them, I like it these days as well too. Some of them are telling you that, hey, I make $1 million a month. But it's like, how much are they really taking home? And then what they don't also talk about on top of that, most likely, because let's just say they're real about the numbers and you realize, all right, they are only taking home so much. Then they don't also talk about, in my mind, to me at least, the headspace it's taking up for them, right? They are basically an HR manager. They are having to balance so many emotions of others, no matter how good of the people that they've hired, right? Because I'll tell you what, it's taken, and I say this as somebody who's had a team of 12 before, right? It takes time to get the right people in. You don't just magically wake up and find your A team members out the gates here. It takes trial and error. So I have leaned towards the direction of I want to have a really small, intimate team that I can do a lot and keep margins extremely profitable and wide with. And I believe that I have leaned more so, especially in the day and age of AI and automations being never been easier. I've been leaning more in this direction, right? So really, I want to kind of just preface that for you, and I want to kind of crack into, as I view it, 3 main components I feel like that truly make this thing whole kind of tick for myself. How I'm able to basically be gone and still have my business run and flourish, because to me, a lot of it comes back towards people don't have the right systems in place. So let's go ahead and just kind of talk about, I guess, the kind of 3-tier structure I'm leveraging right now, so you can go ahead and use it for your own business. All right, so the first thing that you truly need is you need what I call a bestseller offer, right? This is an offer that truly is a no brainer. It's an irresistible, superior offer compared to what others are seeing on the marketplace. And in order to find this, you really have to go through some layers to make that happen. But you have to, at its core here, understand your ideal avatar. I say this all the time. You're selling to everyone, you're selling to no one. So we need to understand what that offer is. Now, I have videos on making great offers and all that. I don't want to go off on that right now. But realistically, you need to have a bestseller offer in order for this to work, because what I'm going to tell you next is why it's important. And next is right here. You need to make sure that you're able to put your offer on a page so that your offer lives and breathes without you being around. If you are required to pitch and present your offer every time you want to go ahead and get a high-ticket client, you are setting yourself up for failure in these situations. Like I said, I used to do that, and I had success doing that. But that's really building your business the hard way. I'd rather you go ahead and add some leverage into what you're doing. I'd rather see you go ahead and make it so that somebody can realize what it is you offer, how you serve, client testimonials, all this kind of stuff when you're not around. When you're doing it this way, I'm telling you, it's going to make it so that now you are getting over this hurdle where now you don't have to constantly be around. So often, so many business owners online, specifically coaches I'm working with, and people who are in my world, they got into this because they're trying to get out of the day-to-day grind. And so we need to have an offer that lives and breathes on its own so that it makes it possible for us to do this here, all right? Like, this is how, once again, for myself and my clients honestly as well too, we're able to go ahead and scale up because, like I said here, if we have it where we have to pitch, we have where we have to really get in the weeds with somebody, it's just not going to be possible to really grow. And so this is where now we want to have it where the offer is in a good spot, and then we have it in a place where now we can just focus on. That's why I'm always talking about ecosystems and nurture systems. We need to now just have it where we can truly wake up and get this offer rotating around our world 24/7 without you. And there's so many different channels and ways to do that here, but that is just the first biggest piece. Is number one, you have to have the offer dialed in, and then two, you have to make sure that you have it so dialed in that even in written format, someone can see it, read it, and understand why this is the perfect fit for them and why it's different than other things they've been seeing on the marketplace. And just one quick note so you know as well too, another really unlock that happens, and honestly more specifically during when I closed this, like I said, $101,000 here recently, it's like I did that. I love leveraging specials. I don't view them totally as launches, because launches are really, I feel like you're kind of launching something new. I love launching specials though, right? So now with that being said, I don't like to discount. What I will typically do is I will have it where I will just go ahead, instead of discounting and reducing the price, I will basically go ahead and add extra bonuses, add extra benefits. I want to make this thing juicier and sweeter. That's the approach I'm taking as opposed to the other way around. All right, so that's another big piece here too, and that's how, I've got clients who are coming in with small followings, and they're able to go ahead and turn those into 4-figure days, 5-figure days on this side. It's because they understand if you can bring enough urgency, scarcity, you can be ultra specific about how your offer serves a specific type of avatar. This is all of what makes the offer truly tick. So it's like understanding, like, yes, this is a bit, once again, launch, specials and kind of campaigns are a huge part of what made it possible, but at the same time, you have to have the bestseller offered out in first, or else it's kind of like this stuff can be irrelevant at the end of the day here. So that's why I just want to make sure I add that part for you too, to really make sure that hits home. All right, now I may be biased in this, but I think this is just because I see it all the time where, truthfully, lead generation is what's slowing down 80 to 90% of coaches that I'm working with. And so if we see that this is the case here, we have to be able to make sure that, once again, we are not having people not entering our world on a regular basis. And so if we see on this side, it's like, okay, we see it where people are showing up, and then we see it where people aren't showing up in the business. We see it where you're having lead flow coming in, and then some is we see where leads aren't coming in. If there's no leads coming in on a regular, daily, consistent basis, you do not have a business, all right? And so that's why really the second largest component, honestly, is what I typically tend to call the self-funding client engine. Now, what is that without the fancy terms? At the end of the day, I truly believe in that having a lower ticket offer come in, people buy it, and it fuels your ad spend, right? It recoups your ad spend and you get a profit on that. That is, to me, the holy grail of lead generation, right? Because typically how it's kind of gone in this space is, hey, you go ahead and run ads, right? You run these ads and now you're waiting to get a client. It's just pure lead generation. You hope that eventually these ads you're running leads to a client, and then you take things from there. The problem is that can be so discouraging if you kind of go this route, right? And now you're just kind of waiting for waiting for ads, waiting for it to convert. Who knows how long it could take, especially in the beginning when you're not as good. But the reality is, and I've been guilty of saying this all the time too. It's like, hey, to sell something for $100 is just as hard to sell something for $1,000, right? And there's a lot of truth to that. But at the end of the day, it is technically easier to sell something for $100 or sell something for $30, right? So that is what I tell a lot of folks to do here, right? Is we want to have it where we can have something on the lower ticket side, and this can now truly fuel our ad spend. And I'm bringing this up for a specific reason. If we think about it, how am I able to close $101,000 and have it where I'm not around? The reality is that my entire time I'm basically around here, I am not doing anything with lead gen, but leads are coming in completely automated without me. Now, what did it take to build this, right? I need to have my low ticket offer. If you ask me, I like to believe in having your bestseller offer, that higher ticket offer dialed in first so you can have a lower ticket offer that's very congruent. I say this all the time. I don't want to get rich off a low ticket. I am doing this to get higher ticket clients into my world. With that being said, we need to make sure we have the right low ticket offer and we have traffic being fueled to that offer every single day. So I have a low ticket offer, I have a funnel that sells it, and then I get people into my world where I'm able to show them now my high ticket offer behind the scenes here. That is what, and that complete every single thing I just mentioned. If we exclude the upfront work of maybe building your low ticket funnel, building your high ticket offer, creating an ad, right? Realistically, I talk about how I've got the one 10-second silent video ad that I'm able to, that I use all the time, and that's been working for like 18 months on the side. I say all this to say that truly, once you have that upfront work done, which can be done in less than a week, you can have automated buyers coming into your world, fueling your ad spend so that now, let's just say you're spending $100 a day on ads. If you're on vacation, maybe you see that and you're like, oh my goodness, I'm just spending it and I don't see any clients coming in. The discouragement can easily kick in on this end. So what I would prefer is that you show up knowing that's the case, you're spending $100 a day, but you're getting buyers for that $100 every single day. And now you realize that you have the potential to close a $2,000 to $5,000 client behind the scenes after that. That's why I spend, truthfully, hundreds of dollars every single day, thousands and thousands of dollars every single month, right? Over 5 figures a month on ads. And I'm doing this profitably before I even get a client closed. This is what makes it where I'm able to automate my lead generation so easily and not get stuck on, oh, how should I go ahead and move forward with leads? How am I going to get leads in my business when I'm out, I'm out traveling, I'm out on the beach, I'm out with my family? It's because I have this set up. And then if we tie that to the offer side, now I'm leveraging my nurture channels, my automation to make sure I'm getting my higher ticket offer in front of these buyers. I'm all about quality over quantity. Too many people are focused on, let me just go ahead and get as many leads as I can in my world. It's like, no, let's get quality buyers. I'd much rather have a smaller audience size and double down in that direction here. And I'm telling you right now, this stuff can work so quickly. I've had, just within the last week, and this is just because we had our inner circle call yesterday, I've had 3 new clients coming to make over $1,000 with their low ticket offer, and one's gotten several high ticket clients already from that batch. I'm telling you here, it completely shifts the game when you start to view it this way, when we start to understand how to work the system. You start to understand what is it that's going to take to actually move the needle forward. And yet again, so often people are thinking, I got to do a lot of hard physical manual labor in order to make this work. When honestly, that just could not be further from the truth. All right, so we've covered a lot of it. Now I want to make sure that we hit on the finisher, if you will, on this side. And this is because if you don't have this, then none of it really hits. And so this is what I typically refer to as automating clients at scale. Now, by that, what am I really meaning? What am I referring to here? For my side, I like to really view it as, all right, how are we going to have it where people are showing up in our world, obviously, from a marketing standpoint, from an ad standpoint, they are being served. They are showing up and seeing our offers. They're showing up, seeing our low ticket side. They're seeing how everything basically meshes and connects on its own. If we can have that moving and operating in a way, then perfect. Now we're cruising. But that really just speaks to the automation side on the marketing end of things, right? So of course, as you can tell with this whole system here, I have ads that are moving completely automated. I have people who are landing on my funnels, my landing pages, completely automated here as well too. So what's the reality here, and how can we really just make sure that on the back end as well, things are good for me? Because here's the thing, like, this goes without saying, but let's go ahead and say it. I'm closing clients on a regular basis. I need to make sure that I'm serving and delivering on these clients and make sure that I'm getting testimonials out of them because that fuels my marketing. Say this all the time. Most people are, that's why they're trying to learn all these crazy sales tactics, because they don't have good marketing and they don't have good client results. The better your marketing, the easier it's going to be for you to have these sales conversations, which is why I put so much emphasis, and the entirety of this video has been on marketing especially, right? But now if you want to take it one step further, the better your client results are, the easier it is for your marketing. So then the easier marketing is, the easier sales are. This is why, like I mentioned, there's a reason why I'm talking about here. In the past couple of days, I've had new clients who have made $1,000 just from the low ticket alone, and that's led to generating higher ticket clients. All of this is what's making sales easier in the big picture. So with that being said now, what is the reality behind the scenes for my business to run, right? Aside from just talking about the sales and marketing side, if you will, like when I say that's like the prospect and client acquisition side of things. For me, one big thing just to come out the gates and kind of understand how I flow is, one, like I don't do meetings, right? So my team now, I don't do any recurring meetings as far as that side goes here. I want to make sure that I am able to not waste my time, right? And I say this because so many businesses who have team members and all these things are running recurring meetings all the time. I don't have any recurring meetings on my schedule. That's why once again, when I'm going to travel, I'm like, oh, let me go right over here. I got to take an hour meeting because this is every Wednesday at this time. We do this with this person. We do that with that person. It's like we need to not. That's too much. That's too much here, right? So with that being said, that's one piece that I've gotten away from. And so, like I said, I have team members. I have all this side. I don't do recurring meetings with them. And this is how you're able to. And I believe that if you go, because I think it's like Parkinson's law. Whatever time you give, you're gonna basically use up all of it. To me, it's like, let's just focus. And my teammates know, and I only have two of them. I'm very available if they need me, right? But the reality is, like, break down for me what we need. Let's be clear. I don't need to sit there and we don't need to sit there and just, vibe for the sake of the culture. Let's grow the business together and focus on that, right? And honestly, it's the same thing for my one-on-one clients, right? My one-on-one clients, I don't do, hey, let's have a set weekly call at this time with the one-on-one client that I have. Let's go ahead and meet up when we have something to talk about, when we've progressed to the next stage. I've just seen it so often where, hey, we schedule something and now it's like, all right, let's just go ahead and meet up and we're talking and we're not getting anything done. It's like, it's not good for either of us. Let's not waste any of our time here. And so that's how I've trained my team. So I've trained my clients, right? And then also on for my larger inner circle mastermind, if you will, here too, I also have where the reality is, I really lean into the community side of things here. And now I've made a video about this too, where it's like, hey, now I don't sell the idea of a community, because once again, I want to make it where these people inside of my mastermind have as much one-on-one support as possible. That to me is critical. Like critical because I know if they're talking with me, if they're asking me questions directly, they're going to get results far faster. Now with that being said, I lean on the community side of like, hey, I have it where they can ask me many questions, but I want to make it where they are being very thoughtful and intentional about how the questions they ask me are. And I want to make it so I'm training them to also think on their own, right? So I found what I believe a great balance that has led to people getting the results that they need. And they have unlimited support from myself. And like I said, and I have a team member as well too, that's their main job, is just to help clients in addition to me. And really for them, they are more on the tech side. I have an all-in system to help my clients with, and that's really who she's helping my clients on that side of things. I am purely the person helping on the strategy and marketing side. So that being said though, I want to make it where I'm getting people to understand how to grow themselves, and I have a detailed core, I have everything, but I want to make sure that it's a beautiful balance here, because I've gone the other side where it's like you just are babysitting clients, hand-holding too much, and it doesn't allow them to grow big picture. My goal is not for people to lean on me 24/7 for the rest of their lives in order to have a successful coaching business. We got to have the other side of it, right? So these are some of the biggest pieces I would really say as far as levers to really kind of get your business going, get your business growing, right? I said, eliminate the meetings, right? Lean more into the community side of things that much more. Understand how you can truly automate certain pieces without basically, you just don't want to put yourself in a cage in a way where it's like, now I feel like I can't go away because everybody, my prospects, my clients, my team, they all need me and we can't survive without it. And so that's really the gist of it. Like I said, over these past, especially like I said, heavily over the last 45 days, been out and about, a lot of travel with the family, and outside of scheduling some emails and, I show up I do one inner circle call every single week inside. That's just a recurring piece that really I feel like is a powerful place to just really enhance the community side of things there. So that's a non-negotiable for me. But like, I'm able to really keep a lot of this stuff flowing and grooving effectively without me really being around. So like I said, I just want to really crack this egg open so you can see what I've done to make this happen, what I've prioritized, what I'm probably just as important, what I'm not focusing on, honestly, as well too, in order to make sure that the business can thrive, right? And to make sure that it can thrive without me needing to be holding my phone all vacation and all these things as well too. All right, so hopefully you got some value out of this. Definitely click that like button if you did. Make sure you subscribe, and of course as well too here, I want to make sure going forward that if you are looking to get more education around, like, the self-funding client engine, the bestseller offer engine, or anything around automating clients at scale, I'll link a video up top that basically breaks all that down, just so you can kind of see a little more of the nuance here and, just how it's been able to get, we're at over $4 million in client results to date here, and that's only continuing to climb. So like I said, just one example for myself here to help you out, but keep leaning forward and we'll talk soon. See you next time.